Okay, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. We're going to move on to number 5 on our agenda. I'm sorry, we're not. We're going to go to number 4, and we're going to do, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Apologies for the a little bit tardy start to tonight's meeting, but we'll move on now to communications from the public and press. Anyone here wish to make a statement to the board? Okay, hearing no clamor for that, we'll move on to the next agenda item, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Burke for some recognitions that the board would like to make this evening.
So the first recognition that I would like to make is that in April, one of our Madison teachers, Kim Valengoat, was recognized for being a teacher of kindness and received an award from NBC Watertown. And as a winner of that award, Mrs. Valengoat was awarded $250 award through the Northern New York Community Foundation to purchase items for her classroom. So I believe Kim is here, and I would like to congratulate her on that award and have her recognized. So Kim, do you mind standing? Congratulations. Tenure is not an award for participation. Tenure is an honor that's granted for people who are recognized as being excellent in their career. And tonight we have a number of people that I will be recommending for tenure, and hopefully the board will agree with me that these represent the best of the best and that we should be proud to have them here at Massena. So when I call your name, if you'd please stand and be recognized. Being recognized for tenure this evening, or recommended for tenure: Anna Snell, teaching assistant at Nightingale. Darlene Bordeaux, teaching assistant at Nightingale. Lisa Loffman, a teaching assistant at Nightingale. Nikki Arney, teaching assistant at Nightingale. Patrick Printup, teacher at Nightingale. Athena Curley, social worker assigned to the high school. Lindsay Hendricks, special education teacher at the high school. Brittany Murtaugh, teaching assistant at the high school. Amy Pennington Lee, teacher of art at the high school. Christine Sweet, special education teacher, high school. At Jefferson, Nicole Bonaparte, elementary teacher. Also at Jefferson, Bethany Booth, teaching assistant. Ashley Kaye, at Jefferson, special education teacher. Heather Shontosh, Jefferson Elementary teacher. Alyssa Flanagan, elementary teacher at Jefferson. Paula Henry, special education teacher, Jefferson. Kim McGregor, teaching assistant at Jefferson. Olivia Zappia, elementary teacher at Jefferson. At the junior high school, Desiree Bigness, math teacher. Jody LaBelle, teaching assistant. Paige Monroe, teaching assistant. Shannon Pickering, library and media specialist at the junior high. And Charity Schoen at the junior high, school social worker. At Madison, Cami D'Souza, teaching assistant. Jenny Lasham, teaching assistant. Megan Spencer, teaching assistant. And Lisa Whitcop, elementary teacher. So, Mr. Haggett, at this time, I would recommend approval of the tenure of these individuals as shown in items numbers 129 through 148 and numbers 150 through 155 on our personnel agenda. I would ask that we hold 149 as a separate vote.
Okay, so I would like a motion, please, for all of those tenure recommendations except number 149.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? And now a motion for number 149 on the personnel action item.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, congratulations to one and all. At this time, we'd like to shake your hand, wish you a personal congratulations. We'll take a little 10-minute break and meet out in the lobby.
Okay, that's what that was about.
Gotta use it now.
Yeah, go for it. It's not strong. It's not strong. It's mostly water.
Hey, you know. Yeah, well, it's gonna be, yeah. I may build on that too. Thank you so much for bringing up for this team.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
Are they
I
gonna
didn't
do it?
even think of it.
Are they gonna do it?
Well, the school's a mess. I mean, like, you can't, it's like, we decided against going in the buildings.
Yeah.
We didn't want them to.
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
No.
Great.
It's just maybe just.
Looking forward to,
we're gonna meet the cross.
Hopefully having
We're gonna
Isabel
have-
introduce you, and if he doesn't make it, we'll
And
perfect.
Patty Ryan, I called her. She has a
Thank you.
keeping there in front of
Yes.
Mary. She weeded it all. It looks beautiful. So there we go.
Oh, good.
Good, how are you?
Okay,
We're gonna have
very
a
good.
picture there.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, yes. Hi.
This is Andrew.
Oh, for next year. Okay, wonderful.
And I'll see you out on the trails in the winter, right? Yes. Oh,
All
that's
right.
wonderful, Andrew. Good.
Well, I'm
Nice to
looking
see a
forward to
Trinity
it.
boy
Yeah.
there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll be sitting next to me.
Yes.
What's your role with the student? Are you president of class or?
So, what do you?
Is it a special position now?
Like, were you elected class
it used to be the
president, or is
president.
it special, it's a different election?
So it's a totally separate.
Yes.
So we have the class 2026 presidential election, we have the student council presidential election,
Yes.
and then there's this class. It's the next issue.
Perfect.
So there's different roles. There are different people for each role.
That's, I think that's actually really good. Yes, yes,
We
because
do
maybe this,
everything.
well, too, maybe the spokesperson for this role wouldn't be the same person who's more in touch with the class, so I get it.
We also have the meeting of all the presidents of those
Yes.
for each class.
Good.
Where we also bring in other members.
Good.
To try to hear all the voices in the school.
Sure.
I've been, this will be my 4th year part of that.
Oh, great.
I've been in that since freshman year with
So they must have thought that you were good at listening and discerning. Yeah, yeah. Good. Oh,
I had to drop music.
Okay, that's because of AP, right?
Because of IB.
IB.
I'm a
Yeah.
full IB
Just
student.
You do second language?
Oh, yes. I take French.
good. Well,
I try
at
to
least
take
you went
advantage
this
of
far,
all.
didn't you? You went this far. That'll
4th grade to 10th grade.
Yes, that's, okay. Well, I'm glad you were able to do that. Well, thank you for introducing yourself,
So,
Andrew.
yeah, your introduction is going to be delayed a little bit
Thank you.
because
Isabel won't be here till probably 8.
if Isabel's
All right, so we can get the board back seated at the table here. We'll move on with our meeting. It's quite all right. So I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did. I thought that was a really nice thing to do for our newly tenured faculty, and I think we'll look to try to continue to do that on a yearly basis. So we'll move on now to information and reports, and first up is our student ex officio presentation, and obviously it's Isabel's last meeting as our student ex officio, so she's not here, and once she does arrive, she did let us know that she would be here late. We'll just kind of slide her presentation in, hopefully wherever we are in the meeting. So we'll move on then to the Facilities Committee meeting report, and Trustee LeBlanc.
So, I'm sorry I don't have my glasses, so I'll have a hard time reading my little notes here, but we met June 2nd, and we had Megan from King & King, who did a review of the capital project, where we stood with timelines and the stages to come, and where we stood with the progress. So everything's in line and progressing very well. We talked a little bit about capital outlay, some corrections that we're going to have to make. We're going to focus on that window for high school, and we'll see how much money we have left from the 100,000 that we have. We talked about the steam light pipe. We'll see if we'll have to expose it, depending. We're looking at a lot of proposition to see if we're going to have to expose it. It's currently exposed and it's blocking the street, and we'll see if we can do better than what we have now. We reviewed the charter, and no change was made to the charter. We talked about equipment also on the bus, new equipment, cameras on the buses, and new radios, essentially. It was a good meeting. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Any questions for Robert on the Facilities Committee meeting report?
Yeah, Robert, what do you mean we'll see what we can do with the steam line pipe?
So initially, when we talked about it, we were thinking of putting a pipe overhead so the traffic could go.
Yes.
But we're questioning the look of this, and if it's possible to bring the boilers inside the high school if we find a room for it, or maybe burying them again.
Okay. So is there like, because I'm looking at the high school part and I don't see it, is it listed under the CAB part? Central Administration? Because I don't see it listed anywhere as being part of this capital project.
It should show under the high school, and it's just HVAC.
Oh.
There's a lot of work to be done on HVAC updates. We
And
knew
that's
we knew it was coming, but the thing broke like last year, and we had to fix it temporarily, awaiting the next capital project.
So is it listed as boiler conversion?
If that's what, yes. So
Okay.
it could be listed as any of that. And those are some of the real specifics on that timeline. But to Robert's point, we did actually meet today. We'll share it with the Facilities Committee. We will be doing a walkthrough next Wednesday of the high school, trying to find locations. It most likely will not be on the first floor, so not occupying a space that's currently occupied. The engineer did light up when we talked about possibly putting it into a basement. It'll take a little work to do the excavation and that type, but it's going to significantly help with our phasing, so that, again, it's all very preliminary. All of this is very preliminary. These are all just concepts, but once we get into explore things next week, we'll have a better sense on that concept of putting the heating plant for the high school at the high school.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Robert or for Mr. Burke, for that matter, on facilities? Okay, moving then on to the Policy Committee report.
Okay, the policy committee met on June 4th, and I'll just do the 7,000 series we reviewed real quick. Policy 7615, temporary placement of students with disabilities. 7616, student IEP development provisions. 7617, interim services to students awaiting residential placement. 7618, pre-referral, intervention strategies in general education. 7620, students with disabilities participating in school district programs. 7630, Committee on Special Education, Committee on Preschool Special Education, and 7650, Identification Register of Children with Disabilities. Those were all review only. There are no recommended changes as they all pertain to education state law. There were two policies that we did review that were part of new state legislation. The first one was policy number 5685. It's a policy in regards to maximum temperature for school buildings and indoor facilities. And so with the policy, it pretty much outlays the temperature and heat conditions for each space within a facility. And then it also gives a number of proactive steps that the school district should take in order to reduce some of those temperatures before moving to a next implementation plan, which would include either moving students and staff to cooler spaces or closing early and sending students and staff home according to the district's emergency school closing policy. So that is a new education law recently passed. So that's a new policy as it relates to that. Any questions on any of that so far? And then the last one was the cell phone policy. Again, this was a review of 7316. There was a school district committee put together comprised of district administrators, union representatives, and a representative of the student body who were involved on reviewing both the current policy and the updated proposed policy that we received from Erie 1. And so with the updated policy with Erie 1, we did review that and looked over and heard some of the feedback from that special committee. There was just a section quoting student discipline for accessing internet-enabled devices during the school day. It listed student affairs, but the student affairs office is only in the high school, so we recommended removing that language and replacing it with just the main office. Because if you look at that updated Erie 1 policy, it is very detailed in the way that it lays out what the school district cell phone policy is, from each plan to right down to the discipline of it and where specifically location where they should be stored. And keep in mind, this is a bell-to-bell policy based on the new education law. Any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Monroe. Moving on to my report, I have a few things. And first off, Jodelle, would you mind stepping in front of the board table here for just a moment? As a token of our appreciation for your service, we wanted to present you with a plaque and certainly We also have a few tokens of the board's esteem for Ms. Beard when she arrives, so hopefully that will happen. If not, we'll certainly get stuff to her. Next thing that I have is, I mentioned this very quickly last month, and I think Mr. Burke forwarded this to everyone today. And that is the St. Lawrence Lewis County School Boards Association survey that is now available for board members all across the BOCES area to complete. I would like to ask you to crack that open and have a look. It takes maybe 5 minutes or so to complete. It doesn't it doesn't tie you to anything. It's just seeking feedback on things that we hope to develop as far as offerings are concerned at the School Boards Association. Looking to, as the email says, reinvigorate participation, encourage representation from each district, and assess interest in educational events like workshops and networking and other things. So please have a look at that. Again, Mr. Burks forwarded that to the entire board earlier today, so it should be pretty easy to find. The next thing I have is I'd like to encourage anyone from the board who is interested to attend the upcoming NYSBA Leadership and Education event, which is being held on August 1st and 2nd in Albany at the Crown Plaza. I have been to this event one time. I'm hoping to clear my schedule to be able to go back again this year. I found it to be very valuable, lots of workshops. It's sort of like a mini NYSBA convention. There's not quite as much to choose from, but there's always lots of our board colleagues from all over the state to network with, and lots of great educational content to take in. The next thing is I would just wanted to remind everyone that we are having a senior reception. I guess it would be somewhat akin to what we just did with the tenured staff, except it's a breakfast event on June 16th. It would be, I think, very valuable for as many board members to show up for that as possible. It's again, it's a breakfast, and I believe it starts at 7:30. So if you can hang out for half an hour, have a bite to eat, congratulate our seniors, interact with them, chat with them about their future plans, etc. That would be great, and it would help to fulfill one of our board goals as well. And once again, thank you to Trish for being a lot of the driving force in creating this event and getting it going, making it happen. And obviously Ashley did a lot of work as well. So that is June 16th, so this coming Monday at 7:30 in the auxiliary gym. Next thing that I have for you is just a reminder that we're going to be having our reorganizational meeting on July 8th. So please make note of that in your calendar. I believe that's going to be a 6:30 start? 6? Okay, 6 o'clock on July 8th is our reorg meeting, at which point we'll be welcoming Mr. Beckstead out here. This is Bruce Beckstead. If you don't know him, he is going to be joining us at the board table here, and he'll be taking his oath of office on July 8th. The next thing that I have is Ashley will be sending everyone within the next couple of days the board self-evaluation, which will come to you as a Google survey. I would like to have that completed by July 1st, if you could do that. This is a matter of policy. Policy dictates that we do an evaluation of the board's performance each year. Let's get that done, and we can talk about it at the next item that I have to talk about, and that is an upcoming Board of Education retreat. And we are planning to do this in a similar way to what we did last year, which was, I thought it was well attended and pretty concise and didn't take up an over amount of time. We're looking at doing this on hopefully July 17th at the grist mill. And that'll be in 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that, dinner meeting essentially. And we'll have an agenda of items to discuss that are sort of internal in nature. And
Question.
yes.
Will you send a survey for availability? Like different options, because I can't on the 17th.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. I did say hopefully that is not in stone, but I guess there are a couple of other dates that we had identified as possibilities. So yes, we'll do that. And okay, this one's going to be fun. The next thing that I have is I would like to have a discussion about where we hold our board meetings. I understand that in the summer, the auditorium might be a good option. But I miss the days of being able to, not have to crane my neck and sit forward in my chair to be able to have a conversation with folks that are at the other side of the table. I think and this is my opinion only, and I'd like to open it up for other opinions to be put out there. This is just too big of a room. It's not conducive to conversation. It's not conducive to debate. It's difficult to see and interact with one another. And I frankly think going back to room number 314 is a better solution for most of our board meetings. When it's hot in the summertime, I can see the sense in coming in here where it might be more comfortable. But other than that, I'd like to go back to 314. And I'm open to other suggestions.
Well, I will offer a debate then.
Okay.
Well, this to me is easier. I'm thinking of ease for people. Certainly easier for Chris Lincoln. We talked when we first moved here about it being easier for the public accessibility in from the main door to come right in here. Myself included, it's easier to walk into here with my limitations. I guess also, I don't find it too big. I mean, it feels like church where everybody sits in the back. Maybe if everybody sat in the front, it would be better, perhaps. But I don't mind leaning over and talking. I find the sound quality here is better, but those are just my opinions.
Well, I have to agree with you, Joyce, and the other thing is, the seats are probably a lot more comfortable for people who have to sit here for a long time. And, the staff does not have to move things into 314, set up chairs, set up the podium. There's a lot that had to go into that. It seems like this is, as Joyce said, a much more accessible place, and I don't have a problem with having our meetings here. If you really hate it, I guess I can go to another location at least some of the time, but I think I enjoy this. I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's been very nice.
do you think, Kevin?
The only thing that I can recall of this, and when I started on the board, we had meetings in the library. And then, I mean, we've had meetings all over the place. I'll be at the meeting wherever it is. But I think that what I recall of the conversation that led us to come here was exactly what Joyce said. It was the ease of the staff to set up. They said I get a little grumpy about moving around. I get over it. Either way, I'll be at the meeting. You know, I mean, I will. I'll be there. That's just the way it is. But
I think the same thing that I agree with all of you, that the room.
You mean all except me?
No, I agree with you as well. But I'll add, the room is big, but it's crowded here because we don't make a circle. We don't see each other. So I think the problem started with the microphone. Once we start bringing the microphone and the camera, now we're accommodating the camera and the microphone. I feel like we're having a meeting for the public and not a meeting among ourselves by sitting in front of a camera and sitting in front of the people instead of sitting in front of each other. When we had meetings in the library, we were sitting around a table and we were meeting among ourselves. Here, I feel like we're talking to them, but we're supposed to conduct business among ourselves. So we don't have that feeling being in this big room with a table that's almost facing that way. We try to do a circle. Maybe if we had 4 tables in the middle there and we would sit around, maybe if we were sitting on the stage there in a U or a round shape, maybe it would be better, but it wouldn't look as good for the camera. For the camera, it looks great with the wood there and the nice curtain there. It looks great and it's very convenient. The sound is good, and there's air conditioning, and people are comfortable for sure. But are we doing this for the public or are we doing it for ourselves? Because I don't think it entices debates among ourselves when we're facing that way and we're facing a camera with the microphones.
would that assuage what your concern is, Paul, if we were up on the stage and we had the former setup, but then you can get all the benefits of this, the ease on the staff, that we just move from here up to there?
I think that if we
least you
were
try it. I
in a more compact formation, whether it's a U or a V or whatever the letter of the alphabet we want to use,
A C.
A C, then yeah, I do think that would be an improvement over, you know, some of us being 45 feet apart from others.
Let's try it. We're not out anything.
It sounds like consensus is that y'all like this place.
As long as there's coffee.
Okay, well, I asked Mr. Burt if we could have time for that discussion, and we've had that discussion. Very good. We'll move on now to reports from administration and hand it over to Mr. Burke.
So this evening, I do have a few things to discuss. The first one is that I am proposing a data privacy agreement with the RIC. Actually, a number of the RICs are getting together and creating what's called the Risk Operations Center. A number of years ago, New York State passed what's commonly known as Ed Law 2D, which deals with student privacy and any types of programs, anything that might have student identifying information on it, has to pass the muster. It has to be secure. We have to know that they're not selling that type of information. Since the inception of that law, it has been up to each school district to negotiate these types of agreements with our vendors, which, when you think of the number of software programs that we have in school, it is an overwhelming task. We are not attorneys. We do the best that we can with making sure those agreements work. We've been working through our local BOCES, but again, it's time, it's making sure everything's legal. And just recently, New York State Education Department did permit the RICs to come together and to form this as a service, an intermunicipal agreement, that their attorneys will vet each of these contracts, vet each of these agreements, and making sure that whatever program we select from them through the ROC, the RICS ROC, that it is Ed Law 2D compliant. And if they don't have a service or a program that we would like, we can take that program to them, that vendor to them, and they will vet that for us. Again, I think it allows us some greater level of security and compliance with expertise. Any questions on that?
So is Monica Statel, is she our representative? Is that our local? It says NARIC.org. Like, which one of these says has support structures in place and it has people's names with their email addresses? Who is our region's representative?
I believe in just going right to where I'm comfortable. So I'll be still going to Dr. Dowdy, who runs NARIC.
Okay,
And then he'll get us into the right person.
okay.
So this is not free? There's nothing free there. We're gonna select the software or something to help us?
Right, so for example, we use iReady, and iReady we know is Ed Law 2D compliant, but instead of us now relying on our contract with them in terms of, and it's nothing about the monetary, it's just the contract that they will remain compliant with all the privacy rights. That's all these contracts are, so they're not negotiating any money for us, they're just making sure that we have those compliance agreements in place. It's great news. This has really been a tough thing for schools over the last few years, and like I said, everybody does their best, but now we'll have expertise at it. I will also be asking the board to consider the professional learning stipend. This is not an increase. This is the same as last year. So folks that participate in professional development, they will have $25 per hour, and this is when it's outside of school hours. The facilitators will have $50 per hour to facilitate and up to $25 an hour to prepare the materials. Again, same as what we had last year. Outside of business hours, correct. Also to be approved by the board are the special education itinerant service rates, individual tutoring for one student, $60 per hour, and group tutoring of 2 or more students, $90 per hour. And keep in mind that we also do get reimbursement on these from the county. This is also a flat rate from last year. I'm asking for a retroactive approval of an out-of-country field trip. Our third grade students from Madison took a field trip to the Canadian Museum of Natural History. Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa, and that was this past Tuesday. Also asking the board to approve donations that were made to Madison Elementary for the theater. $500 from Northern Credit Union, $100 from Michelle Wilson, $100 from Orlando Chiropractic, $40 from Mary Condlin, Hawaiian shirts from Hillary Ray, snacks from the family and friends, and pizza production t-shirts and balloons from the Who Club. And the other donation I would be asking for approval on is the $250 award that went to our teacher for the Kindness Award, and that's in the sum of $250. Any questions or concerns on any of that? And clearly I did not ask Mr. Haggett for approval for this last item, but last night I was absolutely impressed by our board president, who presented on Board of Education membership to new board members from throughout St. Lawrence County. It was easily one of the best that I have seen on that. Mr. Haggett, you did an outstanding job, and I've been singing your praises to everybody since last night. I'm a little afraid he might take a second career working for the School Boards Association because it was that type of quality. And I think his commitment to this board certainly is portraying out to the county level on a regional level. So I want to thank you for doing that. I think that was really an eye-opener, and you had some good questions from some of the new board members. And again, I think it went very, very well. And I believe also he was about 6 minutes under his time frame. So that was also remarkable.
Well, I probably started 6 minutes ahead too, because the previous person didn't take as much time.
But again, I think it's important to recognize when board members go outside and do those things. So I wanted to thank him publicly and congratulate him on such a incredible job.
Well, I'll turn around and say thank you to you for being there for the moral support that you lent me on that. So, gosh. Yeah, it's a good thing my shirt's red. Otherwise, I'd really stick out. Okay, moving on, after all of that theater, to recommended actions. First off,
Isabel's not going to make it.
okay. We can do that now.
No, we can't, because my computer died. Can I use
Oh,
yours?
I can
Oh, do you have-
share mine.
Do you have his slide?
I do.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, where is it? I had it. There it is.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to take over for Isabel, just temporarily, and introduce our 2025-2026
There you go.
student ex officio, and Andrew David. If you would stand, please. So a little background on Andrew is that he was born in Massena. He attended Trinity from kindergarten through 6th grade. In student government, his positions are varied. He has been a member of student council for 3 years. He is the class of 2026 president for 2 years, National Honor Society secretary, and the French National Honor Society vice president. He has received a number of awards. He's received the Frederick Douglass Sportsmanship Award 2 times. He's been accepted into Cornell's pre-college studies on full scholarship, and he also received the RPI Medal Award. In the community, Andrew is very involved in athletics. He's been a member of cross country for 5 years, indoor track for 4, outdoor track for 5, member of the Interact Rotary Club for 3, French Club Sergeant at Arms, chess club member, a band member for 8 years, jazz band 2 years, mixed choir 4 years, NC Step member, member of the Youth Services, robotics competitor, whiz quiz competitor for 2 years, and he is also a full IB diploma student. So he certainly is a very well-rounded young gentleman, and I think that we're going to very much welcome him to our board as our student ex officio. So it's my honor to welcome Andrew. Congratulations.
We definitely look forward to your service to the board and the perspective that you're going to give to us old people up here. So thank you. And we do have a basket of things for Isabel, and I think maybe what we'll do tomorrow is we'll see if we can spring her from the high school over to the district office, or maybe we can go find her. And
Yeah, why don't we do it on Monday
oh, great idea!
at the reception?
Excellent idea. Yes.
And, you know, it'll be a nice little send-off for her. And
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully she doesn't watch the video and get tipped off. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, the hour is getting late, we're getting punchy. So we'll move on to recommended actions, and first off is the consent agenda items. And are there any consent agenda items that any board member would like to have pulled for additional debate or individual vote? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? That carries. On to other items for action. First up is approval of the data privacy agreement resolution.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Next is approval of professional learning stipends.
So move.
Second.
Questions, comments?
I
Oh.
just have one comment, is on the proposal, it does not say anywhere that that stipend is only given when it's outside of
Exactly.
regular business hours. It probably should.
Yes.
That should be amended and have that on it so that people who are coming on staff development day don't think that,
Yep.
you know, I mean, if you're paying them to prep and the prep is happening outside, I think that's obvious, but to pay them the $25 per hour if they're already being paid at their regular salary is redundant.
Sorry, that's already recognized. It goes through Ms. Charleston's office, and it all has to be signed off by her. So,
Okay, perfect.
That satisfies your concern?
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Approval of SEIS tutoring rates.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Approval of the out-of-country field trip, or out-of-country field trip.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Approval of the contract with Rochester Regional Health.
So move.
And this is for school physicals?
School physicals as well as driver physicals as needed.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that carries. Approval of the TVI contract.
So moved.
Second.
What is TVI again? It's not on my agenda.
It's the teacher of the visually impaired. So if
Okay.
you have a student,
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Approval of the crossing guard agreement.
So move. Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Approval of the school resource officer contract.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I have a comment. I don't, so, you know, in the United States, the #1 cause of death for kids are guns. So I don't like guns on the property. I think having a gun permanently on the property is not right. It's not something I like. I like the kids being exposed to police officers, and I like when they come and they share their life with the police officer, but I don't like guns. So I don't like the idea of SRO. I think with the police station being in the middle of the school district, if there's an incident, there's going to be a team, not one guy, who's going to react to an incident. So I don't think the idea in Massena of having an SRO is good. That's my comment. We're lucky to have a good guy. Mr. Flynn is a good guy, and for all the reasons that we discussed, I'm going to support the proposition. But in general, I don't like guns on the property. I don't think it's a good idea. My comment.
Any other comments? Motion and second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Approval of the bond resolution. This is for the capital project, I believe, right? And this requires a roll call vote. Do you want to go through that, Ashley? Or do you want me to? Okay, very good. Trustee Murphy.
Okay, let me get to where the bond resolution is. Just give me just a second. I'm trying to click and my computer's freaking out. Okay.
Let's start at the other end of the table. Trustee LeBlanc. We're doing a roll call vote, yes or no on the bonding resolution for the capital project. Trustee Tusa. I'm a yay, an aye, a yes. Trustee Peretta.
It's weird.
All of the above.
Trustee Monroe.
Yes.
Trustee Giroux. Trustee Hammack.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
And Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Very good. Next is approval of personnel action items, and I'll turn that over to Superintendent Burke.
Mr. Haggett, I recommend approval of the action items listed as numbers 1 through 128.
With the exception of those that we already approved.
Yeah, I already took those out.
Oh, you did, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So move.
Any questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? That carries. And, one other from you.
Yes, so on the sick leave allowance, we have a veteran teacher that we are bringing in from another district. And it's been pretty much standard fare when we do that, that they do, that typically now they are requesting that they carry some of their days. And this would be an agreement to allow the individual to bring 25 days upon employment.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? That carries. And that takes care of our agenda business. Do we have any items for future agendas that trustees would like to propose? Yes, sir.
I wondered if we could get some sort of an update on the grand regionalization plan that consumed all the oxygen last fall.
Haven't heard much about it, that's for sure.
You don't have to do it now. I mean, even
No.
if it's next meeting, just,
Yeah. Absolutely, I'll have that for you for the next meeting.
Yeah, thanks.
It may be brief.
Okay, Mr.
Any other future agenda items to throw out there?
I would just like to say that on behalf of the art department, that they are having their annual art show, and that will be next week on June 18th, Wednesday, from 4 to 6 p.m. at the junior high school gymnasium. And of course, all of us are invited and encouraged to go. It's a K-12 show, so it highlights all of the district's artists here, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So if you can make it anytime between 4 and 6 at the junior high school on June 18th, that'd be great. Thanks.
Anything else? Okay, I guess that takes care of our business for this evening. I would now entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
All in favor? Very good. Have a great rest of the month. We'll see you at graduation. I will not be available for the senior reception, but I will certainly be there in spirit, and I do hope that those of you who are in town can make it.
Absolutely.
What's that?